The last time we covered this case, investigators had just arrested rising musician D4VD after the remains of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez were found inside an abandoned Tesla. Prosecutors had laid out disturbing allegations, but the biggest questions were still unanswered. Months later, the courtroom has become the next battlefield. New evidence has emerged. The defense is fighting back, and a judge has made a decision that could shape the future of one of the most closely watched criminal cases involving a rising music star. This is everything that's happened since our last investigation. But before we continue, if you enjoy in-depth, fact-based true crime documentaries that follow cases from the first investigation all the way through the courtroom, make sure to subscribe to Investigate with us and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now, let's return to Los Angeles, where prosecutors, defense attorneys, and the victim's family gathered once again inside the courtroom, each waiting for the next chapter in a case that has continued to raise difficult questions. As the hearing got underway, it quickly became clear that this wasn't going to be a routine court appearance. Instead of moving one step closer to trial, the proceedings took an unexpected turn. Outside the courthouse, reporters gathered before sunrise. Camera crews lined the sidewalks. Members of the public waited for updates. Inside the courtroom, however, the focus was not on social media. It was on procedure. The hearing was designed to determine whether prosecutors have presented enough evidence for the case to move toward trial. According to prosecutors, the evidence collected during the investigation supports multiple serious charges against Burke. They allege that he had an inappropriate relationship with the teenage victim over an extended period before her death. Prosecutors further allege that the killing was intended to prevent Celeste from revealing that relationship. These are allegations made by the prosecution. They have not been proven in court, and Burke has denied them.
Actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Court filings also describe additional evidence investigators say they uncovered during search warrants. Among that evidence, prosecutors allege investigators located child sexual abuse material connected to devices seized during the investigation. Because the case is ongoing, much of the evidence has yet to be examined in open court. That means many of the prosecution's claims will ultimately be tested through witness testimony, forensic evidence, and cross-examination if the case proceeds to trial. Burke's attorneys continue to maintain his innocence. At his arraignment, the defense entered a plea of not guilty to every charge. They have also stated publicly that the evidence will show Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez and was not responsible for her death. Defense attorneys have emphasized that allegations alone are not evidence of guilt. Like every criminal defendant, Burke is presumed innocent unless and until prosecutors prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt in court. As the legal process continues, the defense is expected to challenge forensic evidence, investigative methods, and the prosecution's interpretation of the facts. Exactly how those arguments will unfold remains to be seen. For many viewers, a delayed hearing may seem like a minor procedural event. In reality, delays can significantly affect the pace of a criminal case. They allow attorneys additional time to review evidence, interview witnesses, file legal motions, and resolve procedural issues before testimony begins. The next major step will be the preliminary hearing. During that hearing, prosecutors will begin presenting evidence to convince the court there is probable cause for the case to proceed to trial. The defense will have the opportunity to question witnesses and challenge parts of the prosecution's evidence. If the judge determines there is sufficient evidence, the case will move toward trial. If not, some or all of the charges could be dismissed or modified. At this stage, no verdict has been reached, and the criminal proceedings remain ongoing. The death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez remains one of the most closely watched criminal investigations in recent memory. For her family, every court appearance represents another step in the search for answers. For prosecutors, the challenge is to prove their allegations in court. For the defense, the task is to test the evidence and defend their client's claim of innocence. And for the public, the legal process is still unfolding. We'll continue following this case as new developments emerge and future hearings take place. As always, our goal is to report the facts presented through the courts while distinguishing allegations from established findings. If there are significant updates, we'll be back with another documentary covering the next chapter in this case. Thank you for watching.